Well, folks, there's a new study out. It suggests that 80% of all jobs are going to be affected by AI. And many of the top tech bros are now calling for a pause on the development of AI because of it. If we were talking about societal breakdowns due to technology, there's a lot of talk these days about how AI, ChatGPT, how this is going to impact lives. Well, it's going to cause, if we're talking about social dislocations, ChatGPT could certainly cause, AI could certainly cause serious social dislocations, obviously. It's coming. The question is how we adjust to it. According to a new study conducted by OpenAI, ChatGPT systems like AI will now impact 80% of all U.S. jobs, with personal financial advisors and brokers, insurers, and data processors at the very top of the list. Essentially, people who do analysis are going to be the people who take the hit. The warning comes from an official study by OpenAI, they're the makers of ChatGPT, and the University of Pennsylvania. The team found that about 15% of all worker tasks could be completed significantly faster by AI and with the same level of quality. When it comes to various jobs, some of them are just going to go away. So interpreters and translators, poets, lyricists, and creative writers, 68% exposure, according to this study, to the AI systems outdoing them. Public relations is going to be able to be outsourced. Meanwhile, the people with the highest variance, meaning the people who are least likely to be endangered by the new AI systems, are people like graphic designers, investment fund managers, financial managers, insurance appraisers for auto damage, search marketing strategists. So, OpenAI researcher Pamela Mishkin, who's involved in the study, tweeted, "Today's GPTs can do a lot." Apparently, the study analyzed over 1,000 occupations and their 20,000 tasks and obtained employment and wage data from the 2020 and 2021 occupational employment series provided by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So when they look at, again, jobs that are fully at risk, there's some, like legal secretaries, clinical data managers, web designers, and journalists, who might be 100% at risk because they can literally create things right now where you type in the prompt and the article comes right up. This is prompting people like Elon Musk to call for regulations on AI, or at least a pause on AI until we can figure out what the hell is going on. According to the Wall Street Journal, several tech executives and top artificial intelligence researchers, including Elon Musk and AI pioneer Yoshua Bengio, are calling for a pause in the breakneck development of powerful new AI tools. They're calling for a moratorium of 6 months or more to give the industry time to set safety standards for AI design. Bengio says, "We've reached the point where these systems are smart enough they can be used in ways that are dangerous for society, and we don't yet understand them." Well, this has been happening, as we suggest, when it comes to, for example, all the social media systems that were supposed to be a value add, but have actually been corrupting the minds of children, particularly, and turning them into social media and phone addicts. We'll get to more of this in just 1 second. First, MLB opening day is coming up. It's actually today. And I got to tell you, I am super excited about it. But as much as I love watching my White Sox, Prize Picks makes it a lot more fun. Prize Picks is the easiest and fastest way to play daily fantasy sports. You pick 2 to 6 players, you choose whether they will score more or less than their Prize Picks projection. You can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. There's no competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections. Prize Picks offers projections on pretty much every sport there is: NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, PGA, college sports, disc golf, MMA, whatever you're into. The app is really sleek. It's easy to use. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less, and withdrawals are safe and fast. My producers have been raving about Prize Picks. They're actually a little bit up so far on their picks. You should go check it out right now. It's a super easy app to use. Download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Ben. If you deposit $100, Prize Picks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, Prize Picks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter promo code Ben at sign up for an instant deposit match of up to $100. You hear me talk a lot about being prepared for whatever life throws you, whether it's an eye-rolling government policy or a personal emergency. If you're like me, either you or a loved one probably takes some medication every day. Well, you might know somebody who takes cholesterol medication or medication for diabetes, heart health, mental health, blood pressure. If you've been paying attention to this show, you know that our supply chain is pretty broken right now. It's a huge problem when a lot of people rely on medications, and of course, it can get worse. We saw it get worse during COVID. If you or someone you love takes any daily medication, you need to check out jacemedical.com/daily. Check and see if the medication you need is one of the dozens of medications that Jace can provide in your own 1-year backup supply. In addition to the regular supply you get from your pharmacy, you'll have up to 365 days worth of emergency storage of your daily medication. It's called Jace Daily. It's a great deal. It'll be available to the public in a matter of weeks. Go to jacemedical.com/daily today. get on the wait list and make sure that you're able to get the medications that you need to have like a supply available in case you can't get to the pharmacy, in case there's some sort of emergency, in case the supply chains break. You got to make sure that you have enough medication for an emergency. That's what Jace can do for you. Go to jacemedical.com/daily, jacemedical.com/daily. So how exactly ought we to deal with the rise of AI? Well, there are certain moral questions, like what are the parameters on AI? One of the things that you can see about ChatGPT, we've done a couple of videos using OpenAI systems and asking it prompts. The issue with the AI systems is that to a certain extent, they're going to be self-referential. And what you're going to end up with is an Ouroboros. The reason I say this is because they're now using predictive text mechanisms. So they basically search the internet, and then they see sort of the most common responses in how to finish sentences. And this is how they come up with these great essays and poems and all of the rest of this sort of stuff. They're using predictive text, but they're using the entirety of the internet in order to search that sort of stuff. Well, what happens when AI starts feeding on itself? What I mean by that is it's relying on human knowledge, inputting all that data right now. What if we all stop inputting data tomorrow? Well, it freezes the internet. You can actually see that. It freezes how the AI operates. You can see that from the OpenAI systems that have stopped inputting data after 2021, right? You ask them about what's happening 2022, 2023, it just has no updates for any of that sort of stuff. So as we all become more dependent on AI, ironically, AI becomes less effective because there's less new data that's being input into the AI system. So that is problem number one. But there's another issue here, and that's going to be what sort of activity does AI incentivize from human beings? So a lot of people are calling this the AI revolution, which would make it, effectively speaking, the third major revolution in human history. You can say that the agricultural revolution was really the first revolution because it meant that we were no longer hunter-gatherers, and it really was about the harnessing of animal power. And making animal power more freely available and easily distributable. Because instead of you having to hunt down an animal and then you eat it and then it's gone, instead of that, you're able to harness animal power and you're able to broadly distribute the results of that animal power because of set agriculture. What human advantages did that incentivize? Well, it incentivized physical power, like the ability to actually aggregate land, protect that land, right? Physical power. It incentivized community, right? Settled communities were able to more easily defend themselves. So the creation of small communities, eventually city-states, are built off the back of that. It incentivizes reproductive power, having a lot of kids and having kinship networks. And the agricultural revolution also incentivizes organizational power because organizational power allows you to, again, create hierarchies that allow you to control more and more land. And that's exactly what you see in the ancient world. These are the aspects that are maximized, right? Physical power, reproductive power, organizational power. These are all the things that are incentivized. And then you have the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution makes energy more freely available. So if animal power is just restricted by the number of animals you have, now energy has become more widely available for pretty much for pretty much everyone. And the Industrial Revolution, which really begins with steam, and then it moves on to coal, and then finally it moves on to oil and natural gas. You know, what does that incentivize? Well, that incentivizes really administrative power, right? It incentivizes your ability to administer systems and then ensure that the systems run on time. So what you see is the rise of bureaucrats. What you see is the rise of administrative types, organizational types, and financial types, because people have to be able to borrow money and move money around in order to effectuate the results of the Industrial Revolution. Then you have the third revolution. That's the information revolution. And that really begins 1950s, 1960s, and moves on to today. And that is making data more freely available. So if the first revolution was you make animal power more freely available, and the second revolution was make energy more freely available, the third revolution is about making data more freely available. And this allows for the transformation of entire cultures in extraordinarily short periods of time. And you see societies that are repressive dictatorships in 1960, and now they're thriving economic democracies like South Korea. You know, some of the stuff that was happening over the course of a century for countries now takes 20 years, in some cases 10 years. Everything speeds up. So what exactly is incentivized by that? Networking brain power, the ability to network, the ability to see the links between various modes of data and how exactly you find efficiencies there. Well, now, because that's been incentivized, the next human invention is making networking data, networking brain power more freely available. That is what AI does. It makes intelligence more freely available. Now everybody's able to network everything by the click of a button. So what does that incentivize? Where's the hole in the system? The answer is the hole in the system is kind of creative brain power, right? That's the hole in the system because, again, AI is limited by its inputs. But the problem is, as I've suggested before, that once we are all linked into the AI and reliant on the AI, how do we generate new ideas? And this is why I feel like a lot of Western history is coming down to the question of whether disconnecting is actually going to be the future of civilization, whether us becoming more disconnected from the systems that we have wired into our brain is going to be short-term pain for long-term gain, whether the innovators of the future are going to be people who are not heavily invested, especially in their youth, in being linked to a phone or to a computer, who actually learn to think because the computer doesn't do the thinking for them. I mean, you see this with your own kids, right? You were forced to look stuff up in an encyclopedia, and this is how you learn to process information. You were forced to actually do the reading. What do you think happens when your kids are able to just type in a prompt, an essay prompt, and all the answers come out? They won't know anything. They won't know how to do those things. In the same way that people used to know how to do sort of basic things because they were forced to do the basic things, and we no longer know how to do that because we've been able to outsource it to 100 different sources. Our lives may be better, but if breakdown comes, we are all screwed. Right? You don't know how to fix a toilet. With all that happening, what happens when the things that we are now unable to do, it's like literally everything because we've been enervated by the technology that we've created as a shortcut for ourselves. So what this suggests to me is that a lot of what we do with our kids is going to be reliant on a couple of things. One, tie them into social networks, and two, disconnect them from media networks, disconnect them from the internet, disconnect them from from AI, make them less dependent on all the tools around them. And then later, when they are able to think in creative ways, then you can provide them those resources, and it's a cosmic leap forward for them. In the same way that the best chess players today are not computers and not humans, but humans using computers. But here's the thing. That doesn't mean like a human who doesn't know anything about chess using a computer. Typically, it's a pretty good chess player using a computer who's the best chess player. Human society is going to be reliant on a societal level on us disconnecting from these networks and creating true social cohesion. And two, on an intellectual level, disconnecting from those networks long enough for us to actually train our brains to do the things that machines cannot. So when we are finally hooked back in with machines, we are capable of using those machines in the most useful possible way.